Hello crafters, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this lavender in punch needle embroidery, but you really don't have to make a lavender with this tutorial. You can do whatever you want. So for this project you're obviously going to need embroidery hoops, either style works. You're going to need some fabric. I'm using some traditional embroidery fabric. Also you're going to need some embroidery thread, some scissors, obviously your punch embroidery tool and its threader, and you're also recommended but optional is some felting needles, and I'll show you where that comes in later. So to start off with, I first made out my pattern. I took out the center part of my embroidery needle and I traced that just to know. Then I pulled up some lavender images and I decided to draw that directly. It was the easiest way to do it. You can obviously trace or print it, but this is the easiest way to do it, and lavender, at least in my case, is not too hard to draw. And then I'm going to draw that out, and then I'm going to trace it. I actually went to the window and put my fabric on top of the paper, and from there I could trace it. But you can obviously use a light desk if you have one of those, or a torch under a glass table also works well. So yeah. So once that is done, you can see it here, and I'm going to put that into my embroidery hoop, and you're going to want to put it on top of the middle piece, and then you're going to want to put your other piece, the outside piece, on top, and you're going to want to tighten it. In my case, I didn't have to tighten it, but if you're using a traditional one, you're going to want to tighten it. And the only reason I'm using one of these hoops is I found it holds onto the fabric better than the traditional one, at least the ones I have. So that's why I'm using that in my punch needle thing. And then just thread the needle. You're going to want to put the threader up through the needle, up through the pen entirely. Put on the cap again. I think the cap is optional. And then you're going to want to open the little hole, and you're going to want to put your thread through. If I'm not explaining it well enough, I'll show you in another video. I'll link that below. And then you're going to want to put it through the front of the hole, through to the back in the at the tip of the needle, and then pull that through, and then you're done. So to start punch needling, you're going to want to start at the bottom of your image, or at the top, it doesn't really matter. You're going to want to punch through, and I'm just going to take the excess from the front, and you're just going to put that to the back. Then you're going to go about maybe like an eighth or to a quarter of an inch every stitch, and you do not want to lift up too much, because otherwise you'll have big loops, if that's what you want, fine. But to make stitches, you do not pull up much, and then you just continue. So I just did all of that. There, just power of editing. And another little thing you can do is you can use a needle before and pre-punch your holes. It makes it a bit easier, because mine was having trouble punching through at least my fabric. So I did that and it really helped, and I'm just going to continue doing that for my 5 strands of lavender. And again, you can do this for all different kinds of images. Foxes, that's something I found on the internet, and I'll definitely be doing that. But obviously you can do whatever you fancy. And if you want me to do a tutorial where I show how to do in solid images, just tell me down below and I'd love to do that for you. So now that all of my sprigs or stems are done, I'm going to start with my embroidery and of the lavender, and this I did in purple, and it was really just a V, so I crossed over and then I went back for some of them, and I just kind of varied it. I made 3 little half V shapes on some of them, and some just 2, and I double thicked it in some places, and triple thicked, and then obviously just I went back and forth for the next one, for the last ones. And as you go up, you're going to want to make the V's smaller and possibly like thinner, just to show like lavender, like normal lavender would be, I guess. And once all of that was done, you can see here it is, and I really am happy with how it turned out. And the back is an absolute mess, and this is where the needle felting comes in. You can just punch in the little excesses that you have sometimes, and I did this on a much bigger scale. I actually had most of it done by the time I filmed this part of the video. And yeah, so if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. Tell me down below if you'd like to see more punch needling from me, and if you want me to do anything specific, I'll be so over the moon to that for you. And also subscribe, it would really mean the world to me. And yeah, bye.